Welcome to the Life Leader Podcast. I'm your host, Patricia Celeste, and I'm here for you, a heart-led entrepreneur, a life leader that wants to create a better world through your gifts. And enjoy your life while you are doing it. Lovely to have you here. Welcome there, light leader, to this episode about a topic that can feel maybe very heavy, but it could actually inspire us to live our life fully as well. Because that is what death has done to me. And I will also tell you how this had inspired me to do what I do for a living. So first, a short update. I have been with my partner for nearly a month here in Australia. And since I did a last update in my last episode, the rainy and cold weather here in Victoria has kept on going. To everyone's surprise, it had been the rainiest October in whole history. And honestly, that was not what I expected the cold and rainy Finland. But I have really used this time to go inwards and work on an amazing project in my business that I will release in early 2023. So I had a thought to release the Light Leaders Academy this year, but it will not happen, and I will do kind of something aligned with that in early 2023, which I'm really excited about. And for the moment, me and my partner are here, and we are taking care of two lovely golden retrievers, one fluffy cat, and 3 very social hens just for this month. And we're living in a beautiful place here in Victoria. So we have great fun with our little zoo here, and the sun was actually the warmest today that I have experienced in many, many days. So yes, I have hope. Okay. But back to today's topic about death. Because today, the 5th of November, is actually 5 years since my mom left her physical body on this earth. So I also want to honor her by creating this episode and what I am about to tell. And I also want to honor all other that have passed away, because especially right now, we are in a period, at least generally in the Western world, when people die more unexpected than they did before or during the pandemic, actually. We don't really hear about this, but statistics show very clear number on this. So I know that there is a lot of grief that happens right now. And for all the ones that have lost someone out there, I want to send all my warm thoughts to you and tell you that the biggest pain of the grief, it will pass. But for it to pass, you really have to honor your grief, to let yourself grieve, and to feel that, yes, this is something that will pass, but now I'm grieving. And this is an essential part of moving forward in your grieving process. So, yes, right now also this weekend, last weekend, we can see a lot of Halloween pictures on social media. And yes, we all know what those can look like. And yeah, it's good to meet our fear of the scary of death. But the question I would like to ask is if we really do that by dressing up as a ghost, do we really reflect on what it means for us, what death means for us, by painting our faces like zombies? Or does it actually maybe even create more fear of death unconsciously within us? That is actually separate us from death or make it something really, really scary. So this time has been celebrated and still is celebrated in many traditions as honoring those who have walked over to the other side, to honoring the death, the ones that have died. But I feel that honoring of death and what it means to us get lost in all this hype of Halloween that have taken over. So I really want to use this episode to return to the basics, our roots, where, death was a part of life. It wasn't not something very scary. It was a transition. And it's also the reminding of our connection with our ancestors and why we are here on the planet Earth. Because death, even if we think about it or not, will come in some shape or form sooner or later in our life. I believe we change form into another vibration when we die, and we return to where we came from before we were born. That's what I believe, and also many with me are believing this. And that have helped me a lot in my own grieving process, in my own maybe fear of death. And I also know that depending on which decision we make in this life, how we evolve, how we choose to live, will reflect an upcoming life. So, that's actually what I want to talk about now. How we can live right now. So I have always been drawn to these deathbed stories about what people reflect on just before they die, or they will die. They know that they will die. And with these stories from those people come so many regrets that have a very important message to us, to you, to me right now. Because the chances are that you will feel something similar if you don't reflect on this wisdom, if you don't take it in your life on a daily basis. So here comes the wisdom from the ones that are in the end of their life. And this is a very they have so much in common. There's so much similarities what people say. So the first, or one of the things they say, maybe not the first, but one of the things they say is, I wish I had spent more time with the people I love. So, yes, I wonder if you would ask yourself, do you spend time and also quality time, not only time, but quality time with the ones you love? Do you listen to them? I mean, really listen. Actively listen. Do you try to understand them? Do you try to see that they are actually trying their best, even if the outcome does not always look like it? And do you spend most of your time and energy with friends who give you energy and that give you love? And if you have a business, do you do the same? Do you call in customers that you love to work with? Do you have people that lift you up in your life? So yeah, this thought that people have, I wish I had spent more time with people I love. How does it reflect to you right now? How does it resonate? Another thing that people say when they're lying there and maybe gonna take their last breath is, I wish I had worried less. So this is a big one, because just me, I have a tendency to quickly go into worry. I have become much better not to worry during the years, but it still take up way too much of my headspace. And the thing is, most of the things we worry about will actually never happen anyhow. So we waste so much time and energy on this, which affect our mood and choices and our quality of life. We have so much fear, and honestly, if you dig deep into the fear of your worry, the fear often, in the end, is about you being rejected from life in some form, or actually your fear of dying. So here comes our fear of our own death. And this is a fear that unconsciously playing in the background. So if you wonder what I'm talking about now, you can try this by exploring, by asking yourself, what is the worst that could happen if your fear comes true? The fear of what you are worrying about right now. And then you get an answer, and then you keep asking the question, okay, what is the worst that could happen then? And then you get an answer from yourself, and then you ask, okay, what is the worst that can happen then? And you will most often see that it comes down to you fearing becoming rejected by life and in some way dying. So, yes, what is it that you worry about right now that you have to let go of? Okay, so the next thing that people wish that they had done different in life is to have forgiven more. So it takes a strong person to say, I'm sorry. And even you have to be even stronger to forgive. You kind of have to go against your ego's will to do that, because it can be really hard to say I'm sorry sometimes, or to forgive someone when you know that someone have hurt you. But the thing is that you are actually hurting yourself more by holding on to that feeling of not being able to forgive. And also here is included to forgive yourself for everything. To forgive yourself that you might have harsh thoughts about yourself, that you have done mistakes and all your shortcomings. Because when you forgive yourself and others, you will see that a new life, actually, it will feel like a new life will open up with so much more freedom to live and so much less judgment for you to hold on to. So just reflect on that now. Who do you need to forgive? Or what in yourself do you need to forgive right now? So another thing that people often say when they're lying there in their last time in their life is that I wish I had lived my own life and wish I have stopped chasing the wrong things. So, do you know, do you do what is expected of you, or do you do what you really want? Where do you decide how you want to live your life? Out of your own choices? So this is the thing. No one can know what is best for you. However, you can make your own choice and still be caring, loving, and compassionate. So to live a life where you stand up for yourself it doesn't mean that you are selfish. It doesn't have to mean that. I mean, you can still be kind, loving, and caring. It actually means that you take responsibility for your life, and that will gain others in the long run as well. And yes, you can still care for others, but also put healthy, lovely boundaries, because that's what we often have to do when we live our own life, when we stop chasing the wrong things. So where do you need to live more of your life right now? Think about that. And another big thing people are regretting is that they say, I wish I had been more honest, and I wish I had stood up for myself. So this ties into what I just talked about. And this doesn't include then to be only honest towards others, but be honest towards yourself. What do you need to stand up for right now in your life? What doesn't really sit right for you? And how can you still do this with love in your heart? Do you live a life that's aligned with your deepest values? Are you honest with yourself about what you really want? Because when you are honest with yourself, you can be more honest with others as well. It's much more easier because you know what's true for you and you're honest. And then you can be more clear to others. And as an entrepreneur, when we do that, we might lose some followers and some clients. But I tell you what, that's a good thing, because we can't go around and pretend that we are doing the right thing when deep down we feel something else, when we feel we're not aligned, we're not honest, we're not really doing what feels right for us, we are not standing up for ourselves. So where do you need to be more honest in your life right now? And another thing that people regret is, they say, I wish I had worked less and lived more in the moment. And this is such a good one, especially for us as entrepreneurs who are passionate about what we are doing, which make us do all the time. And we can feel that no matter how much we work, we can always do more. But here we must stop ourselves and ask what life is actually about. Do we want it to be about stress, overwhelm, and running? Or do we want it to be more about joy, ease, and play, living in the moment and not take ourselves too seriously? So, yes, what are you inviting? I can so relate to this, because sometimes I catch myself hassling and feeling that I'm not doing enough. And then I ask myself, okay, what do I really want life to be about? And how am I doing it right now in this moment? And then I can choose to let the stress go. I can choose to maybe feel that I have to hurry up and just try to enjoy and take a break. So another wisdom that these people on their deathbed is sharing with us is that they say, I wish I had cared less about what other people think. Hello, I can really relate to this. Can you? Because, come on, how many times in my life have I not chosen to do something because I'm thinking of other people's opinion about me? Ooh, what will they think if I do this? And you might be like me, that you are maybe more highly sensitive than the norm and can easily take on other people's feelings as well if you're not working actively to not do so. And it's not pleasurable to go around and depend on other people's opinion and you feel their feelings. And many times actually you just think you feel their feelings, but yeah, they might not actually think so about you as you think about them. So, in fact, trying to get everyone to like you is impossible, as you maybe have figured out already. And because, no matter what you do, people will have different opinion about you. Some people will like you and love you, and some people, they will really dislike what you're doing. And some people really hate it. I know it's a strong word, but there are a lot of haters out there and they will just hate a lot of things. They have a lot to hate. So I will also say that the more we step into our business and become more and more visible, the more variation of people's opinion you will start to see. So your opinion to try to please everyone is an impossible task. So whose opinion do you need to let go of right now? Whose opinion do you want to let go of right now? Yes, just feel into that. And then the next wisdom that those people in the end of the life are sharing is, I wish I had lived up to my full potential. And I will just say a big yes to this, because we all have so much potential. Even if you might not think it, you have it. And even if you think you have it, you have even more. It doesn't mean you have to stress, you have to hustle crazy to live up to that potential. But this is the thing, that way too often we don't acknowledge our gifts enough. We don't acknowledge our potential. And we don't maybe follow our dreams because we don't think we have what it takes to follow them. Or if we follow them, we don't do it fully, since we let our limited belief about ourselves stop us. So what potential of you is right now waiting to come out to bloom? Just feel into that. What potential do you have there that want to come out even more to bloom And it actually doesn't mean that you have to hustle, that you have to burn out to make it come out and bloom. And then the last thing I want to share that people are sharing when they're lying there waiting for moving on to a next realm, passing over to another dimension, is they say, I wish I had faced my fears. Because yes, we all have fears. And we should not fear our fears or think that they should not be there or try to totally get rid of them. Because we can look at our fears as guides that guide us to grow into the person we wish to be more of. And also, when we decide to face our fears, we often doesn't need to do it as big as, I use the word hassle. We can do it more hassle-free than we might think. We can often take much more smaller step than we think. So we don't build up any bigger fear around our fear because we have taken a too big step. So, think about it. What is the fear that you know for you would be good to face right now? What is the fear that are waiting for you to just be met? To be, first of all, maybe acknowledge, and that want to guide you into the greatness that you are. And how can you take smaller step to meet that fear? So this beautiful, beautiful you is a lot of the things that I have thought about a lot in my life. When I have read these stories, when I have listened to these really wise people that have really taken a deeper thought about what they really have wished more of in their life, that they regret. And I don't want you or me to regret a lot of things. And because when we get reminded of the death, that often happens when someone's dying. At least it have been that for me, but we can actually get reminded all the time by just, thinking about, okay, what is important for me? Because when we get reminded of that, it's an excellent opportunity to remind us why we are living right now. For example, my mom's death and so many other people I know that have died have shown me the importance of living fully right now, to trying to drop my worry, to really, try to forgive myself, to face my fear, and all of this stuff. I have really taken a deeper thought about these things. And some people have told me that I'm brave in what I'm do and create, and yes, I agree. So much of it that I'm doing, it needs my courage to be manifested. And I also feel that I have got this life for a purpose. So I feel I have to, in a way, stand up for myself and do this. Do what feels right for me. To follow my purpose, and the purpose, what is true for me, and to let other people's opinion or my own limited belief get to not get in the way of my purpose. So on my deathbed, I want to feel that I did all that I could to live my best life and to contribute to other people's life in the best way that I did right then. It might change, but I did what I thought was the best. And I have a feeling that you and I have a lot in common when it comes to that. So if you haven't downloaded my alignment and confident meditation yet, that I have especially created for entrepreneurs, for light leaders, but yeah, it's actually good for everyone, head over to patriciaceleste.com to do so. Patricia Celeste without an E in the end. And follow me as well on Instagram on Patricia Celeste, where I give you more inspiration and updates about my life as an entrepreneur and how I try to live my life fully when I meet life, when I meet challenges, when I meet my fears. Also, I would be super happy if you recommend this podcast to others that you might know would appreciate this. I'm sure there is some people that actually really needed to hear this right now. So that's why I do this. So yes, keep shining your light, wonderful you. And remember why you came here for. Because, one day you will die, I will die. So I'm so honored to have you here right now with me and to have you on my journey. And I promise I will try to do my best to contribute my best, or at least what I think is my best, to you. And at the same time, live my life fully. So see you. Bye.